Hi friends, are you preparing the Red Hat Certified Engineer exam? Great, I'm excited for you. My name is Luca Berton and I'm the creator of the Ansible Pilot community, and I taught 15,000 students how to learn Ansible and how they can leverage in their everyday task. In this book, I infused all my knowledge about system administrator, about hardening, and about the Red Hat Certified Engineering program. Of course, I could include the question of exam, but I included a lot of examples and use cases that you might sound familiar in your day-to-day work, as well also preparing you in the best way for the exam. Because the latest Red Hat Enterprise Linux changes a lot and introduces a lot of interesting tools, especially if you come from a community version of Linux, or maybe you come from an older version of RHEL, the Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So there is a lot of interesting things in this book, starting about the program, how the certification enables you to be on a market and be ultimately landed in a more paid job. It starts from the beginning. So no knowledge up front. It starts from the beginning, how to install Enterprise Linux on your system. And for example, what is Anaconda, the famous Red Hat installer? How we can leverage like headless installation or unattended installation. How we can install on a large fleet of server, virtual machine, or container. Everything is included, starting also from the prompt, the bash, the login, and this type of things that are important for our foundation. When we move also to privilege escalation using SU, switch user, or sudo, sound familiar? How we can configure our storage, the type of file system that we have at our disposal, the difference between X4 and XFS, how we can use also the latest web console to manage our server. It's called Cockpit, and things are becoming more interesting when we are going inside the networking, and here it's getting more spicy because there are new tools, not using IP tables or ifconfig anymore. There are new tools that are introduced that actually are more flexible, like the NetworkManager, or how also we can dealing with day-to-day administration, like for example, create a user, assign the right shell with the right permission. There are also the no-login shell that is kind of special because it allows you to create a user without a login access, but you can still use inside your system. I don't want to spoil all the fun, but there is a lot of spicy and interesting things here. How we can run our processes, what is UAD1, and how systemd changes the way how we interact with our processes. It's a great tool, sometimes a little bit tricky to get into that, especially for log management and how it interacts with every service. How we can customize the boot process and ultimately manage the log file when we get an error or an unexpected situation. How we manage a rolling update, leveraging the package manager, the DNF, and also how we can do the network storage with NFS and SMB that allow us to share files in a Linux or Windows environment or mixed one. Every chapter has like a section with question and answer, so you're gonna practice for the exam before actually applying. Then there is a section specifically about Linux task, where you can get also more specific about how we can automate and how we can leverage Ansible, the open source orchestration tool created by Red Hat. And we are breaking down all the important things like a workflow, so-called Ansible playbook, how we can interact with other machine, so-called inventory that we can have in INI and YAML format, and how we can get into the Ansible language. Written in YAML, we can have also conditional, loop, variable, and something very Ansible like Ansible Fact, Ansible Magic Variable. These are powerful tools that we can leverage in our workflow, and because most of the time we don't want to do like a sequential order, and we would love to leverage a property called idempotency, the way of not changing the host if it's not necessary. So first of all, it's going to validate if a package is already installed, and it's going to install if it's missing. So all these properties are very important, and I really like Ansible. Is one of the things that I'm super proud of because it simplifies my day-to-day work, and I want everybody to embrace this wonderful technology. How we can get into enterprise, how, for example, we can configure a privilege escalation on managed node in our fleet, how we can analyze the shell script and convert into playbook, and also most day-to-day tasks like a rolling update in our fleet, how to do service management, how we can do file management, like ensure that a file or directory exists, how we can leverage a Jinja 2 template that allow us to create like customizable configuration file with some variable that we can adapt to different situations. Think about, for example, for a web server, we can have a different configuration in development or in production. We just adjust one variable and we can change the behavior. How we can store information in a secure way using Ansible Vault, and also how to leverage code reuse with all the resources available in Ansible role and collections. And the best part, how we can use the network services, how we can leverage the IPv6 and also the security, how to leverage SELinux. I know a lot of people love-hate relationship with SELinux, but it's a great framework because it allows you to have a great granularity to see every port on the server, why that port is open, what service is behind listening to that port, what service is writing to a file, and what is the current context of that file. So it allows us incredible operation in a production environment. What is the relationship between RHEL and CentOS, how we can leverage system security service daemon, SSD for authentication, how we can interact with Kerberos, with Kubernetes, OpenShift, universal-based images, and how we can do performance optimization, how we can leverage virtual data optimizer for storage, and what to do when things goes wrong, when we have a service failure, how to look for log in the file, how to schedule processes to execute overnight using cron or at. And oh my god, there are so many interesting information, how we can practice for our exam, what are, for example, how to create a report for our management, how to customize with the template the message of the day in our systems, how we can create like a server use case, how to create a web server, compute server, mail server, file server, and directory, how we can leverage the latest innovation about artificial intelligence with RHEL AI. Everything is condensed inside this book, and I can't wait to hear your honest feedback about it. Let's automate more, and I want all of you getting certified.